Greetings. Sorry, I'm in the chat, busy making spelling mistakes. Oh, it's going to be another good one. Let me sort things out here. Okay, here we go. First off, I would like to say comedy hour, but I have literally been laughing whilst prepping this and going off into the kitchen and making myself a drink and, you know, playing with the cat. I've just been chuckling to myself just from time to time at this. What I'm going to play, well, this is going to be another case of a simple flat earther undressing the globe nonsense and those who espouse it. So we're going to listen first of all to our friend, Where's Wally? Let's listen. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like he's not an older gentleman, like he's similar age to me, and I'm just going to, you know, from time to time throw a knee kick or a jab or, you know, just slip and maybe pop his head a bit, just metaphorically speaking. You'll see what I mean.
G'day everybody, Where's Wally here? Well, I've been sort of waiting for Antonio Cigarettes to go and look at my video. He keeps telling me he's on a break and can't do it possibly at the moment.
I don't keep telling him I'm on a break. I've mentioned to him that I was on a break, and I have mentioned to the whole world that I keep going on a break and then breaking that break and then going on a break. And I haven't kept telling him. That's that's false. But maybe in his brain, he sees himself as more important, and he has read and reread and reread and reread the message, and he just interprets that as different instances of me telling him. You know how globe believers can do all that kind of stuff with things like time and space and things happening? Yeah, in his mind, my one comment is, well, over and over.
But then I find he went and had enough time to go and call Bobby Shafstow a fraud. Simple.
He seems to be in a little bit of a huff over the fact that I, pointed out that this guy was a fraud, saying that there is horizon dip. How can you determine it isn't? Well, if it was horizon dip, it'd be half a degree, right? Anyway, I'm just going to highlight that Bobby Shafto is called, and I think that's his name, okay, Bobby Shafto. Now, I'm Spanish. English is my second language, but it's Bobby Shafto.
Because Antonio can't really deal with the infinite facts that Bobby keeps bringing on his own pool. Well, if you're like me, well, then how about you go and sub to Bobby Shafstow too?
Shafto.
For no other reason than knowing that the squeaking voiced Dim Dim will be as mad as hell.
Doesn't seem like this squeaky voice Dim Dim is mad as hell. I'm playing the portion where you're urging people to, well, sub to Bobby Shafto. Not likely to be the kind of action that would be undertaken by somebody who would be mad as hell, no. Again, Bobby Shafto.
Is in the description below, as usual. Well, if we can get Bobby over 1,000, he's going to be able to do a lot more to damage poor Dim Dim.
Oh. You see, this is where you've got it wrong, Where's Wally? I'm not trying to damage you. I am destroying your worldview. That's not the same as damaging you. Bobby Shafto could try to demolish my worldview, but it wouldn't demolish me. If he succeeded, he would have demolished my worldview. He would have damaged me, not a jot. Just like all of this that I'm making against you. I wish you no ill will, mate. But I am going to, hold you to account on your bullshit.
And Bobby, this is for you. Unless you sound like Donald Duck, you can't possibly be as annoying as that little Dim Dim and his little squeaky voice that he has. Oh, goodness.
Wait, is the Book of the Sun?
Yeah, now what?
Now, just to let you know, Wally, if to a character like me, and I say a character as a person of my characteristics. So, to me, you might not know this, but I've played with voices just for a laugh. If you say that me having a squeaky voice is, so hurtful to you, I'm more likely to do the squeaky voice. Although not so much now that I know that it's hurtful to you. To your worldview and all those who are mocking your worldview, it's not hurtful. It's funny because we understand. We flat earthers are tearing your nonsense worldview to shreds. You're not understanding that just yet. You are like the child who thinks that Santa Claus is real and not willing to accept that he isn't, which is why I've shown Santa Tracker by NORAD so many times. Now I'm going to do it again with your cosmology. Thanks again to you, you great big doofus. So let's carry on in a squeaky voice.
Let's go and open a second tab and sub to Bobby Shafstow.
Shafto. Shafto. Not shafsto. It seems like globelings have a problem just throwing in extra S's into names. Like Eratosthenes. Instead of Eratosthenes. No. It's Eratosthenes, not Erasto. I mean, even freaking, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson went out of his way to repeat it twice so that people would get it. But that Geller woman, or whatever she's called for the NASA, half the globelings say it wrong. You know, it's an S. Just place it appropriately. With Shafto, there's only one S. It's at the start of the name, just before the H. After the A, there's an F. After the F, there's a T. There's not an S in there. It's not Shafto. So I'm going to play it again.
The voice that he has. Oh, goodness.
Wait, is the Book of the Sun?
Yeah, now, while you guys go and open a second tab and sub to Bobby Shafstone,
Shafto? No.
we'll see what Antonio's got wrong today. His understanding of the Big Bang was hilarious, but...
No, this is just... so I'm going to, after this, I'm going to just educate some globelings regarding things like time and motion. Simple concepts. Things that children, infants, toddlers, in fact. When you go from being a toddler to a... I don't know, what's the age after toddler? When you go between... Oh, I'll make it easier. When you go from baby to toddler, the difference between the two is that a toddler can walk around. They can fall over a lot too. But they're learning about things like motion. Okay? This guy, where's Wally, seems to have learned it by osmosis and never really paid attention to the world and things like motion. And motion involves time in which to, well, exert that motion. So let's listen to him. He says that my understanding of the Big Bang is that no. I understand that it's a crock of shit. I'm going to show again that it's a crock of shit. And I'm going to show again how not only is it a crock of shit, but it disproves your globe theory. Okay? I'm going to show it with simple diagrams that you can follow along with. Okay? Now, when somebody puts an idea, there's wrong and false and logically impossible, like before being also after, something like that. If you say that's false, that's not true, that's logically impossible, that's not you not understanding, that's you pointing out that it's false and not possible. Now, if you, on the other hand, don't see the impossibility because you think that before is after, then, well, to you, it might appear like the other person doesn't understand. But from the point of view of the person who sees that it's a prima facie falsehood, you're just a dim-dim. That's right. So let's listen to him again.
That's outside the scope of today's video. Oh, hell no. Look, I'll just tell you what it was. I heard him say, if you can look back in time and you can see really young galaxies in the Hubble Deep Field Space Telescope, then why can't you look the other way, away from that, and see all the really old ones, like where we're going? Seriously, it was very close to that. Oh, dear. Do you know why that is so wrong, Antonio? Do you get that all directions is looking back in time?
All directions is looking back in time.
No.
Do you understand anything about the CMB, Cosmic Microwave Background?
I think I might understand a bit more than you.
No.
Didn't think so. Okay, anyway, now to today's stuff up.
Alright, so that's it. What does he go into? Should I play it? No, I won't play it all. Here's the video. Bobby Shafto. Oh, Shafsto. Oh my gosh, he even spelt it wrong. well, I hadn't even noticed. Look where's Wally. It's Bobby Shafto. We've all made mistakes and typos. It's not a typo because you're actually saying it wrong, so you've just misread and then projected and placed an S in there. So you can just rename your video Bobby Shaft. So I mean, that's, that would be the nice thing to do, But what's the rest of it? He's talking about, oh yeah, he keeps leading towards a conclusion that he never actually reaches. And obviously he doesn't point out the critical factor, which is, where is it? In Bob here. He doesn't make a single mention of this, the difference between the crosshairs and the visible apparent horizon. That drop is supposed to be half a degree according to the globe math. According to the globe math, half a degree. That looks like a bit more than half. It looks like maybe that's just pointing off into the mist. So that's that start. Now first, before I go on, I'm going to do a little bit of teaching for Bobby. No, well, not Bobby, sorry. For Wally. Look, Wally. This is a whiteboard. It's a magical thing that you can draw on and then you can wipe. And it wipes. Okay? It's called a whiteboard. Now, this is a whiteboard marker. What I'm going to do is, make sure I have it here. What I'm going to do is, I want you to pay attention. Pay close attention. I'm going to start here. And I'm going to end there. This was the start, and this was the end. Did you see what I just did? It's almost like a magic trick, isn't it? You see, first I started, and then I ended. So, first was the start, and later than the start was the end. Now, when I was, now don't get confused, we're still talking about the same line, but I'm going to draw another line so that you can keep up. When I said start and I went like this, when I was here, can you see how I hadn't reached the end yet? It hadn't happened. I hadn't reached the end. The end was in the future of this line. Do you see? All that's drawn up to that point where I'm holding the marker, that was all the past of the marker's journey across the whiteboard. The remainder between here and my finger would be the future of the marker's path across the whiteboard. Okay, so, see? Okay, so that's how time and motion happens. Okay, look. Now, in this same line that had a start first, not after, okay, the start didn't happen after, okay, when we got here, okay, this was in the past, okay, but when we were here, this was not in the past, okay. So let's go back and replay what he says about space.
Understanding of the Big Bang was hilarious, but that's outside the scope of today's video. Oh hell no, look, I'll just tell you what it was. I heard him say, if you can look back in time and you can see really young galaxies in the Hubble Deep Field Space Telescope, then why can't you look the other way, away from that, and see all the really old ones, like where we're going? Seriously, it's very close to that. Oh dear. Do you know why that is so wrong, Antonio?
I don't know.
Do you get that all directions is looking back in time?
I don't know.
So all directions is looking back in time. I'm going to start, now I'm going to draw a new line, not a line that's representing that line. Now I'm drawing a new one, okay? I'm going to go back
pretty close to that. Oh dear. Do you know why that is so wrong, Antonio?
I don't know.
Do you get that all directions is looking back in time?
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to start, and in the future I will end. Now where's the end? It's further ahead. But according to you, that is looking back in time. Now, this is just a dot in a line, but we could, if you wanted to, we could say, it was the Earth at a distance from the Big Bang. Here's the Earth today. Here's the Earth in a million years, or a billion, it doesn't matter. Can you see how this is not back in time from today, and future? This is back in time. This is future. Now I'm going to explain to you why your gibberish cosmologists say what they say and you've swallowed it hook, line and sinker. I'm trying to get this pen to draw well. I think I have another one. No. Okay, so hope this is there you go. Now it's drawing better. Okay, here's the deep field view. Put that again, but I think it's now drawing better. Here's a deep field view of the entirety of the sky. Not the universe, the sky. That means both hemispheres. Okay. If your theory was correct, then let's say they used as an arbitrary marker GMT at the equator, and they were checking only at a certain point of the year, and they were looking continuously from that point at that same time over and over and over and over in one specific direction, that it would appear like this. According to your silliness, that's a direction to the Big Bang. It happened in that direction. Okay? According to your silliness, where radiation travels slower than the speed of light, somehow, okay, will be in that direction. Now, obviously, this is an arbitrary point. You could check from a different location on Earth at a different time of year and find that's the direction to the Big Bang. Yeah? Like this. You're in a car. We call the Big Bang when you got in the car. I'm going to draw it actually. It should be fun. Okay. Now, looking at things in the past would be like a rear view mirror, and here is your house. Okay. Here's your house. And there's a bit of a tree. Oh, lovely. Your house. Okay. And you got in your car and you started driving away from your house. What would happen? Well, sometime afterwards, this would be your house. Tiny over here, you only see the roof, tiny bit of the tree. You see, it's in a portion of your rearview mirror. It's got smaller, it's gone farther away. That's you looking at your past. When you got into the car was there outside your house. Okay? You looking out of your windscreen at the headlights of a truck honking its horn at you because you're too busy looking in the rearview mirror, it's not you looking at the past, it's you looking at the very near future. Guys, I'm not joking. These globelings, not only do they not fully understand the concept of up and down, and by virtue of not understanding up and down, don't understand left and right, and now we see they don't understand not only forwards and backwards, but forwards in time and backwards in time, or past and future. They don't understand it. Where's Wally and by extension Wolfie 6020 and all of the other globe earthers don't understand the concept of before and after. That's right. That's why so often my tone is mocking and condescending, because these are very simple principles, guys. You learn this when you're a baby. Somehow you didn't learn it, or somehow you learned it, okay, and then you changed what you learned so you could believe something else instead, including any direction, including the direction, let me just, 1 second. Earth moving through space, Earth moving through space, that direction is also the past. That's what you just said. Every direction is the past. Now, you can be a moron like Einstein and say, well, it's a past to something else. Like, so what? All you've done is you've shifted the indexical point to some other observer. Okay? Here's the Earth. This is what we're talking about. That's the future, according to your cosmology, not the past, Mongo. Now, when you have Einstein saying the retarded stuff that he did, which somehow it slipped by people that all he was talking about was subjectivity. Subjectively, if this, then this. Oh, really? Subjectively, if you're stood there, not moving, and somebody hits you with a bat at like 10 miles an hour, it's the same as you being on a bicycle and hitting a bat at 10 miles an hour. Although it's not, strictly speaking, the same. But never mind, it's close enough. Now what I'm going to do is show some more of this poor guy just, I said I was going to use analogies like, kicking his knee, just to boom, cause that stop, or just jabbing him. I was going to say, this would be the equivalent to me leaning forward, standing on his foot whilst he goes to move back and hurting his foot, okay? But instead I'm going to say this is him standing on his own foot whilst trying to get back and hurting his foot. It's a section, it's him trying to mock a section of the Book of the Sun. And for this I'm going to thank Cosmic Surfer. Oh dear, dear, dear. So just going to play a very small portion of Where's Wally attempting to mock the Book of the Sun. So here, pay attention please.
There's going to be an increasing number of double suns, which he calls it increasing, which means obviously he thinks that people have already seen this, but then he says that...
Yes. First, let me just go over what you see on your screen. The Book of the Sun, Preface, Chapter 1, Predictions, Review. So, it doesn't go into the preface, it doesn't go into Chapter 1. He's now going into predictions. He forgets what he's called the title. Anyway, the point is, I'm going to replay.
There's going to be an increasing number of double suns, which he calls it increasing, which means obviously he thinks that people have already seen this, but...
Right, he thinks that people have already seen these. Yes, because people are videoing them and are showing them, and they have been documented, including being documented by cardinals and by physicists. But now in the world of technology and YouTube and other channels that are not flat earth channels, but that are also looking at the sun, we have this. Now, this is solar satellite breakdown with video evidence. What this is going to show is, well, a double sun. Let's listen to the man explaining how he's going to determine that that really is a thing there in the sky and not just lens flare or reflection or anything like that. Play.
I will perform the test, which is basically if you see two objects on the iris of your camera, what you want to do is, I can't do it while I'm talking to you because I'm going to take the feed onto the phone, and I'm going to slowly put my hand over the iris as it's recording. What I'm going to try to do is get my hand over what I think is the sun, which is probably the brightest object. If I can do that and the secondary object is still visible, that means that it's not the secondary object is in the sky. Is it still a reflection of something else? Quite possibly.
Let's go back because there was a stutter.
That means that it's not reflecting off my camera. The secondary object is in the sky. Is it still a reflection of something else? Quite possibly.
Absolutely, it is. It is a reflection of something else. A reflection of what, Antonio? Well, you know when you see a rainbow and you see a double rainbow, those things are reflections too. Oh, well, what are they reflections of and what are they reflections on? It's like, well, read the book of the sun.
But what you will see in the film is that...
What? Sorry, I have a cat.
Of that.
Trying to explain something
You're
to me.
seeing clouds, and the sun is behind the clouds. So when
Now, he's explaining how he's got a filter on his camera. And now what he's going to do is going to show, I'm going to move ahead. You're free to watch the video, obviously. And I'm going to show him blocking the sun. That's him blocking the sun. And there you see the other not being blocked. He also points out that there's also a third, much more faint. That's right. Different iterations of the same phenomenon. Now, I'm going to move ahead. Now, I'm no longer addressing the dim-dims. I'm now talking to you observant realists out there. Just a second, I've got the squirrely wheel. Oh, poor dim-dim. Every direction is the past. Right, where we're going, Dad? To where we went. But we've not got there. Well, it's in the past. Every direction is the past. That's right. Even the future is the past. So, play.
what's going on?
Now the poor guy hasn't got a clue what's going on because he's a globling. But I want to show something. I want to get to a point later on. And he's trying to make sense of it. So obviously these guys, their only conclusion can be it's like a Nibiru or something like that. Now I've moved to this frame. In the frame, I know that you can see my cursor now, and that's cool. You see this here? This is a beam. This here. Coming from the center of the sun. Now this beam would be actually curved to the sun and then twisting the other way. Oh, tell me that I'm out. Right, okay. Now, this beam, that's the main sun, is a nexus of these beams. This is on beams or threads or filaments, subirats filaments, that's on a different line. So I'm talking line as in farthest away from us. Okay, just a second. And that's just for people to understand a little bit. what we're seeing here is very similar to when you see secondary and tertiary rainbows. That's not the same as seeing a double rainbow. A double rainbow is where you got the rainbow, and then outside of that rainbow, following the same line, it's a rainbow with the colours reversed. That's what people typically refer to as a double rainbow. But then we have times, let me move so I can use my hands to gesticulate. So you have a, might use this. Where is the, here. Okay, so you have a rainbow, and then you have another rainbow. So this would be a double rainbow. Okay, you have a rainbow and you have another rainbow. What I'm referring to, and what's happening with the sun, is when you sometimes have a rainbow, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger them just so that you can see, so that it makes a bit of sense, although you don't see the staggered nature, is when you have this. So you have the rainbow, and very close to it, another rainbow. And this can or better, let me do it this way. Here's a rainbow that you see, that what appears to be the thing that's closest to you in terms of rainbowness, and very close behind it you have another, and behind that you have another. That's what we're seeing with the sun. Okay, now I'm going to go on to, so I can close that. Watch that video, folks. It's very interesting. I feel sorry for the guy trying to make sense of it with the cosmology that he's got, you know, of the spherical Earth. But now we're going to move on to, well, here, to resuscitating, well, reverse resuscitating the globe. So, what's this? This is an image from Genafredo video. Who made this estimated auto level horizontal? A guy called Miles Davis. He's a globeling. That's right. He said, well, from her position, from her location, the camera was 6 foot above the lake. That would be level. That would be a level line from her location. You know, with the globe theory of, you know, a radial projecting from the center of the globe and right angles to that being level. Unfortunately for him, if that was level, then what do we have here? The drop would be 0.04 degrees, okay? 0.04 degrees would be the drop from this yellow line, which is supposedly Genafredo, but in the distance, or a line projected from Genafredo. Your Genafredo right now looking out that way. The drop from that line to the horizon should be 0.04 degrees. It isn't though. We can see that even though we don't have the sun in the frame, in order to establish how much a degree or a half degree is, but we can, anybody who's not too stupid can see that that's not 0.04. That's more than 0.04. Regardless of that, the poor globelings don't understand that on a curved surface, when the actual drop from her feet to the, well, not the feet of the building stands around 20 odd foot above the lake, but from her position to the base of that building is 542, and this is the refracted, this is the lesser drop, 542 feet. Is this building 542 feet? No, it isn't. It's 306 feet above the lake. That's right. See, that building, the top of that building is 306 feet above the lake. According to the globe, the bottom of that building is 542 feet below that yellow line. Do you see? 542 feet, let's call it 43. 543 feet below that line is the location of that building. That line, which we can see is just projected, is a guess on the globe to where level would be if it was skimming over the Earth at a tangent and, well, rising from the Earth in the distance. Unfortunately for him, that isn't 543. That yellow line is not 543 feet. Are you understanding, Globelings? Do I need to make you a drawing? Here, let me make it easier for you. Imagine that Jennifer is situated in that yellow line just above that white building. Okay? Her height would be, let's say, the width of that yellow line. So let's say that she's standing at just a little dot there, and that's her. Okay? Everything below that, according to this falsified version, should be water. Because between her there in the distance and this one here, there's a bulge. But you forget about that bulge. You can't forget about a bulge on a spherical surface. That would be a bit like saying that the future is the same as the past. That's just moronic. But the reason that I'm pointing this out, first, all of this building should be missing with several 120 odd feet spare, something like that. Okay? Missing, gone, not visible. The white building, not visible at all. Way below, not the yellow line, but the darker blue line on the other side of the lake. Okay? Way beyond that. Wait, oh no, I have a message. Okay. Right, so yes, this photo says no, it's not a globe, dumbass, and you can't just grab a yellow line and say I think this would be right. Because first, if that was right, you've forgotten a bit about the hump between you and the yellow and the white building first, and the building would be beyond that hump. And second, the curvature says that there's a drop, okay, of 0.04 degrees. Well, here, between that yellow line and the horizon, is more than 0.04 degrees. You understand? It's wrong in both ways. The same way that Wes Wally is wrong in both ways. His cosmology and his idea about reality. Okay? Both wrong in both ways. Now, I have this here. What's this? Felix Baumgartner. What is this? This is that high jump thing, Okay, let's play a little portion of it for educational purposes. Play. Oh, he just opened the door. We're seeing... Pause. I'm wanting it to pause now. Just a second. Oh, I have the little wheel. Okay. We're seeing from, well, inside the capsule. I'm going to go back. Right. Oops. That was supposed to be an X. Right, so let me just go back. Just to establish a couple of things about this shot. Right, so back. Now, the door is opening and we see outside of the door, we see, well, sky and then a light blue band and then white. So there you go. And interestingly enough, approximately halfway up the frame. But we're not sticking we're not freaking out about center of the frame, Bobby Shaft, though. Now, we're going to pay attention to that light blue line dividing the deeper blue and that slight purple and the white. Okay, we're just going to look at that and see how much it goes up and down the frame. So play. Come on. Okay, now it's playing. Now it's gone to outside. Very good. So this is live, and we're seeing it's not really going up and down very much, is it? It's like minuscule amount, tiny, tiny. Now I think only a retarded would say that the way that's moving out there means that this capsule is swinging wildly. In fact, I would say that it means that the capsule is pretty stable, not swinging very wildly. Watch again. There's the horizon. I'm not even going to mention the GoPro. There you go. Live, it's still, the seconds are still ticking. This is not a freeze frame. Looks like not swinging wildly. Okay. Now why am I saying all of this? So that I can show this. Okay. I've just taken 2 frames and place a line across. And all I'm going to do is move this across like this. Okay, you can see? Okay. That's all I'm doing, just sliding this one in front of the other one. Okay? Right. Now, if you want to get all pernickety and stuff, I can try to zoom in a bit and try to place this frame exactly where the other one is. Move it across and just keep doing this until I get it exactly perfectly and the red line goes straight over the other one. Point is, it's very damn close, isn't it? And what is this? Well, this is when he was approximately 12 feet off the ground, and this is when he was, well, 127,000 feet off the ground. 12 feet, 127,000. 12 feet, 127,000. 12 feet, 127,000. 12 feet, 127,000. Can you see? Now, what I've done, same as with the infinity pools, I've left a very small line so that I can make sure I don't mess up the horizon by hiding the line. I just want to make sure that I can show this is a nice straight line that's following very closely to as much as we can see of the horizon here. And over here we have buildings, whatever. Okay? Now, that's the reason for this. It's not me trying to make the horizon look like it's higher, because that would be a stupid thing to do. That would be the opposite of what I'm trying to show. Do you understand, Globelings? If you're going to cherry pick like you do, then you're not going to cherry pick something that's the opposite of what you're trying to show. So I'm not cherry picking. I'm purposefully giving allowance to see the horizon. This is the thinnest line that you can use with the program that I used. This is the size of that line. Okay, when you zoom in, it looks bigger. That's what zooming in does. Now, here's the line here. Where do you drop the line here? Given that it's, well, faint, well, I left about the same amount of space between the line and where it becomes quite a stable, solid white. See? That's all I did. Oops. So, why am I showing this? Let me line them up again. See if I can line them up nice and neat. Neat. Yeah, that will do. Why am I showing... Wait, let me make this one smaller. Why am I showing this? Okay. Well, let me go back and walk you through this. You see here, the drop between the two, between this projected yellow line, which is completely biased, okay, but let's pretend it isn't, okay, should actually be about twice as high as the yellow as the white is. That's how high that yellow line should be, okay, but never mind that. Between this yellow line and the bottom here, that's supposed to represent 0.04 of a degree. Now, this that I've been showing, let me make sure I've got everything right. Yes. We're going to go to 127,000. Let me make sure I get every foot. 589. Great. See, this is how you know that you globings are retarded. 589. Okay. Distance in miles, not relevant. What are we looking at? Okay. Make sure everything is correct. Oh, I'm going to put 1,000 miles, just for fun. In fact, there you go, 10,000. Doesn't make any difference to the horizon. Where's the drop? So this is the viewer height. Distance in miles. Refracted drop. Not there. Not there. Not there. This is interesting, isn't it? Let me refresh. I'll show you why this is so interesting. I'm just refreshing the page, that's all I'm doing. Distance, I'm going to say 1,000 miles. Come on, start working for me. Okay. So, 1,000 miles. 127. 589. 589. I hope I didn't put a comma in the previous one. That was, if so, that was silly. Okay. Now, what am I showing here? I'm showing this 5.8 degrees. Why am I showing that the horizon should be 5.8 degrees lower in this shot that you're seeing than it was in this one? Can you see? 5.8 degrees equals roughly 10 sun widths. Do you understand? Does it look like you could fit 10 sun widths between this red line, which is a fixed line in the capsule, And, well, the horizon, it doesn't, does it? It looks like we're looking at cloud. Sure. If the cloud wasn't there, what would you see? Well, in an ideal cloudless day, well, land, that's what do you think you'd see? If it was ocean, well then ocean, what do you think you'd see? But do you understand, globelings? Look, geometry says your globe is a fantasy, and logic says your cosmology is a fantasy. And this flat earther says, if you believe the cosmology of your globe, you're a retarded. And if you don't understand that the geometry disproves your globe, then you're retarded. Or in denial, delusional. You think the geometry means something else, and you're wrong. So, let's go to here. Now, what I'm going to do for your poor dim globelings, I'm going to play this video. Make sure the volume's up. And I'm going to go for a pee. It's only short. It's one of my own videos. This is for people to understand things like, well, checking the real world to see whether your beliefs are correct or not correct. This video was made for Graham Eller, who said to me that what I'm showing in this video, before I showed him this video, didn't happen in the real world, that it was impossible, that it did not happen. Then I showed him this video and he said, no, that's not happening. Then I showed him in the real world and he said, well, what's happening is something other than what you're saying. It's like, look, you thought this was impossible. I've shown you that you're wrong. Now you're trying to say it means something else. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what it means other than you were wrong and you argued with someone who'd seen it with his own eyes and made a video about it. So I'm going to play this, and this is really for people to understand the relevance of center of the frame versus objects close by and the horizon. In this example, I have a sit-up bench relatively close to the camera and the blinds much farther away. Similar principle for the horizon. Okay, so I'm going to play. Enjoy, Bobby Shafto. Hey Loki, I'm hitting play and it will start playing in a minute. And then I'm going to come in the chat and say hi to everyone. Here we go.
This video for
Oops.
have a video company and have.
Right. So let me go back to the beginning. I don't like the stutteriness. Okay. Here we go.
This is a video for my globeling friends who have a video production company and have never really noticed this. This is called parallax. What I'm doing is simply tilting the camera up and down. That's all I'm doing. See? Just tilting up and down. Now I'm going to zoom. Oh, see that yellow tab that I have on the blinds behind? You see? See how it appears and disappears? Just by tilting up and down. Graham, are you watching? See that yellow tab? All that I have is my camera angled slightly up to the sit-up bench in the midground, in the midfield, and a yellow tab in the distant blinds. Do you see? When I do this, the effect is not quite so visible. When I zoom in, oh, now it is visible. Now it's gone. Now it is visible. Now it's gone. Now it is visible. Now it's gone. You see? So this is that horizon test tube with a huge drop to the horizon with a camera angled up.
Oops, system faulty. It will sort itself out in a minute.
Worth £100 for you. Okay.
Wait, I'm rewinding because I said something funny.
Horizon test tube with a huge drop to the horizon with a camera angled up. Okay, Glenn, it's a good thing you didn't bet me that £100. Otherwise, well, I'm sure that this lesson would have been worth £100 for you. Okay. Now I'm doing the experiment again. This time with the bar that's on the top. I have an orange bar on the top, an orange rod. It's looking black because of the contrast, but you see, there you go. Watch it ride up that blind as I angle up. So the blind behind is level, now it's lower. Level, now it's lower. And all I'm doing is angling the camera up and down. This would be me rising and lowering.
So this that I'm showing now with lifting and lowering the camera, this is standard parallax. What I'm showing with the slight angling up and down of the camera, that's a reverse parallax effect. I don't even know if that has a name. I know for sure that people that study photography didn't know about it, because Graham Eller studied photographer and he didn't know about it.
And this is me angling up and down. Up and down. See, when I go up, the blinds in the distance go up. When I angle up, the blinds in the distance come down. It's called parallax.
Reverse parallax. Or inverted parallax.
Peculiar phenomenon. So you see, Glenn and Graham, you're welcome. Okay? Ooh. And back there is still the yellow tab. Oh, now above, now below. Now above, now below. Now above, now below. Okay? I hope that makes things a bit clearer for you. Thanks.
Okay, and now, lastly, I'm going to play a video regarding magnetism. Now, the guys that I was referring to then, Graham and Glenn, when they saw this, they said that I was tricking it. They said that other people were commenting about how I tricked it, that it was a trick. It's not a trick, and anybody who has a compass and ferromagnetic materials can do it themselves. It's not specific to my location. You can do it at home too. You could do it today. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it all the way through. First, what I'm going to do though, is I'm going to separate screens. I'm going to sort it out in a different way so I can engage with the chat. Just bear with me. See the difference between just pushing your belief versus, let me see, pushing your belief versus checking to see if your belief is right or not. See, what the Globalians don't understand is that every single flat earther was a globeling. And we, for whatever reason, checked to see if the globe was correct, if the belief in the globe that we considered to be knowledge of the globe was right, if it was true, if it was correct, if it could be checked and tested. And we found, one, it's not correct, mathematically it's wrong. Two, It can't be tested for proof of the globe, but all the tests that can be done and have been done have shown flatness. So we now check other things. Magnetism, let's check magnetism. Gravity, let's check things falling. Light, let's check light. Peter and Pete, or Pete and Peter, water and the other elements. We check how much of the stuff that we were told is true and how much is just a crock of, well, belief put there so that people will think it's true. So now there you go. There, I'm going to play this and I'm going to join you in the chat. If you've seen this before, well, just do it at home, guys. Just repeat it yourselves. And I'm going to make a series of video, not a series of videos. I'm going to make a video. I have a much better camera. I have a P1000. And I found a couple of other really interesting phenomena happening. So I'm going to show them. So here, I'm going to play this, volume. And some of you will not have seen this, so enjoy it. And like I say, do it at home. Just check yourselves at home, because it will help you understand the world. It will help you understand gravity, and it will help you understand light. That's right. It will help you understand those things if you don't already. So here we go. Play. Whenever you're ready. Come on.
Compass. Okay, so
Wait, take that bit. Okay.
compass. Okay, so I'm in the world and there's an overall magnetic field. So nothing is exempt from that magnetic field. So when I bring a magnet into that magnetic field, the magnet's magnetic field is also influenced by the overall Earth's.
Oh. I see people in the chat without a wrench. So I'm going to give some wrenches out whilst the system sorts itself out.
Overall Earth's geomagnetism. Okay, so this is a magnet. This is a ball bearing, as you see, is
The anti-helioist vertical parallax is when I lift and lower the camera.
It's not a magnet, okay?
Not when I tilt up and down. It can't be vertical parallax. Sorry. Let me pause. It can't be vertical parallax when it's doing literally the opposite of what parallax actually does. So you go up, objects in the background goes up. Go down, objects in the background goes down. Angle up, object in the background goes down. So go up, object goes up. That's parallax. Angle up, object goes down. That's reversed parallax. So let me go back to this.
compass. Okay, so I'm in the world and there's an overall magnetic field. So nothing is exempt from that magnet. So when I bring a magnet into that magnetic field, the magnet's magnetic field is also influenced by the overall Earth's geomagnetism. Okay, so this is a magnet. This is a ball bearing, as you see, it's ferromagnetic, it's steel. Okay, now watch. This is not a magnet. Okay, watch. Here's a spoon. It's not a magnet. Okay, watch the other magnet down. Watch the magnetic declination as I turn the magnet. Now remember, we're already influenced overall by Earth's magnetism. So now what you're seeing is the equivalent from a non-magnet, the equivalent of magnetic declination declination. You see, what I'm doing is turning it. Now this is not a magnet, so what this non-magnet is doing is influencing the overall magnetic field, but also contributing to it by causing a small whirlpool. There's acceleration to it, so it's slightly stronger than the actual Earth's magnetic field with this out of the way. Okay, you can see by how quickly the needle changes. Okay, at times slower and at times faster. Now this, like I said, is steel. It's not a magnet. This is a battery. Now the battery, as you see, it has magnetic points, north and south, but it also has a distortion of a different type to the magnetic field. We're still seeing what you might refer to as magnetic declination. Okay? If we were to say this is the north and this is moving around the north, choose your direction on a flat earth map, I say my map, you're seeing declination. Okay? Now this is not magnetic. Watch the needle. As I turn this ever so slowly, there's a very slight variation. I don't know if it's coming through with the camera, but there's a very, very slight distortion to the magnetic field. Now, this is a spoon, again, ferromagnetic. Watch the magnetic declination. As you see, this spoon is not magnetic. It's attracted to magnetism because this iron. The spoon itself is not magnetic. And even though this is not magnetic, it's causing magnetic declination. Now this is a magnet. This is going to remain in the north. Watch the magnetic declination. As I turn this, you will see the declination here. Okay? Now, obviously, this is a normal magnet. And as you see, you're seeing declination. Now, it's pointing south. Oh, there must be another magnet here, right? No, there's only one magnet here. You see? There is only one magnet, one north, here. Now you might ask, Roadlings, replicate magnetic declination using a globe magnet, or using a globe and arrange the magnetism however they like. over here. Okay? This is the north. The declination is pointing south. Even though we only have one magnet, or one central pole.
That was subtle editing.
And this, by the way, that it just did here, watch as I turn it, gets to a point where it slips round. That slipping round is similar, watch, it's similar to the South Atlantic magnetic anomaly. Oh, see that slipping? Now bear in mind, whatever you're seeing now is also influenced not just by this magnet here, but by the geomagnetism we have. Looks like with a single magnet we can replicate Earth's geomagnetism on a flat Earth. Now this is higher than the magnet. I'm now going to remove this tape, which I only placed there to keep it nice and steady for the camera, and I'm going to erase the compass. I'm going to erase it so that we know that absolutely for sure what's influencing it is only one side, so the top of the magnetic field, not the bottom. Okay? Can you say magnetic declination? It would now be pointing south. In fact, it is. Oh, so that would be in Antarctica, the compass pointing away from north. Okay, here you are, pointing away from north. Sorry, let me make it more square. It's prettier. Now it's pointing to north. Can you say magnetic declination modelled on a flat surface? Can you say magnetic declination, Globelings? Feel free to model magnetic declination with a spherical magnet. Go ahead, knock yourselves out. Thank you very much.
There you go. So, like I said, really go ahead and do it at home. Meanwhile, Scotty Gesso, bye-bye. You can't just come in here with your religious bullshit and think you're going to get away with your religious bullshit in my chat. What kind of stupid bitch are you, dude? Anyway, so I'm going to address something that Rocklover's saying. Wake up, you genuine flat earth believers. This is the thing, we don't believe we understand, but the Globelings understand the globe, but we have practical experience, and the Globelings do not have practical experience of the globe. See? That's the difference. Practical experience brings knowledge. Non-practical experience can only, if it's masquerading as knowledge, it can only be belief. Now, Rocklover writes, wake up genuine flat earthers. Look who is on True Frequency Radio, all the top brass of flat earth. True Frequency Radio is owned by Disney. Ultimately, yes, it's owned by Disney. But this is the thing, Rocklover. You say all the top brass of flat earth. This is one of the things that so many dim-dims don't understand. The flat earth doesn't have a top brass. That's right. The truth can't have a top brass. What would that be? Let me see. Where am I? Here. So, you don't need to worry. I mean, I hear what you're saying, Rock Lover, but it's not going to alter anything. It's almost like you're saying, hey, flat earthers, there's corruption in the world. And we're flat earthers going, shit, really? Really? There's corruption in the world? There's lies being taught as if it was truth? Are you being serious, Rock Lover? Do you really think that that's a real thing that's really happening? In other words, no shit, Sherlock. So, this is what, yesterday I was listening to Del Beyond the Imaginary Curve, and there are some of the Kumbaya flat earthers who would love to pull people in and have people vote for the top flat earther. That one can be our leader. They would love to do that. They're not proposing it yet. They will, though, in the future. They'll propose it. But they're not proposing it just yet because too many people will see through it. So there will be too many votes of no confidence, you know. But when you have people like Joey Rocha, for instance, or Nathan Thompson, those people calling for unity, what they're calling for is for people to get in line and stay in line and follow whatever orders are given to them by, well, the top brass. Unfortunately for them, they haven't got this through their heads. Flat earthers, by virtue of being flat earthers, or perhaps part of the reason that they are flat earthers is that they don't kowtow. It's very easy to say, oh, I will not look into flat earth. I will just stay with the globe idea. That's the easiest thing to do. It's more difficult to go, I'm going to look into this and have all the internal questions that might come with that. Okay? So, Occupy Wall Street. Okay, so what happened with Occupy Wall Street? That started off as something that, it was causing problems to the establishment. Yeah, it really was. How do you know? Because the police tried to get rid of it very quickly and it didn't really work. And then what happened? Well, then some kind of leadership system was set up, and where's Occupy Wall Street now? Well, go went away. What are they trying to do with the flat earth? The same thing, you see. So they would like to have somebody like, say, I don't know, Mark Sargent, be the leader of the flat earth. Or even David Weiss, be the leader of the flat earth. And then have David Weiss on a serious debate with somebody like, say, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson say, look, the way we understand the world on the globe is the earth is rotating, and that's what causes sunrise. So on the equinox, the earth rotates, and the sun rises due east for all locations. Can you tell us what happens on your flat earth? And David Weiss, having explained about the sun being a small thing, 3,000 miles from the surface of the earth and approximately 30 miles wide, would have to say, yes, well, if you travel, it's to the east. So that everybody can look and go, well, this guy's so retarded, and not look further into it. Unfortunately for them, like I've said before, like 40 seconds ago, we're generally rebels. Generally speaking, we're the more rebellious type. And we're like, no, I'm not following you, you freaking prick. So that's what happens. Anybody who wants followers is full of shit. We know, we can see. You get pamphlets through your letterbox. This is what this person is going to, this person with political aspirations wants to do for your area if you give them your vote. And it's like, oh, so you think that you should write rules? You should be in charge? Fuck off. And we think the same with the people that you, Rock Lover, refer to as top brass. We say, fuck off. Get out of here. I mean, for God's sake, you tried to slip a transgender in there, you know, and it was working until it was exposed, you know, by yours truly. Come on, get real. So I'm looking through the chat. I just saw a globe link in the chat, but it's gone. Oh no, here. Wait, I'm reading a comment. It doesn't seem to make sense. Present and accounted for 60 minutes or so now. I don't get it. Sorry, skip not. Is Amandan saved by zero? Right, so at the Book of the Sun, if Simon Dan offers to debate him, will you take him up on the offer? Well, saved by zero, would you like to see my conversations through Skype with Simon Dan, me asking him to debate? Because it's a good question, but the truth is, he can't debate me. He can't debate. The guy can't. Unfortunately, he's not so sharp that he could debate, and he can't debate me. He can't debate anyone really, but he certainly can't debate me. You know, so yeah, I hear you, but that's not going to happen. You know, I offered it first. I first offered it to Conspiracy Cats, and he was like, "Oh, let me get some practice. Let me get some practice." And then he had practice with other people, and then silence. No, can't. I can't. I'm not going to debate you, Antonio. You might make people laugh at me. That's what they think. So, where's Wally? Okay, would Where's Wally like to debate me? He would like to, but he can't, so he won't. What about any of the Globelings? Would they like to debate me? And they know that there wouldn't be abuse like other flat earthers out there when it just escalates into abuse immediately. They know it wouldn't go to abuse, but they can't, so they don't. They steer clear. Does anybody remember that guy, Red's Rhetoric? The guy with whom my first exchange, I just fish slapped him. Yeah, that's it. I'm calling it fish slapping. Instead of bitch slapping. Yeah, it's like just stand there, slap with a fish. Anyway, Madame Medusa writes, in the Book of the Sun, I think a Scotty Jesser is the account Handsome Truth, who you removed the spanner from the other night, repeating the exact same crap. Ah, okay, thanks for that, Madame Medusa. He's gone now, anyway. And then saved by zero. I read that. Present and accounted for 60 minutes or so. All right. Yeah. It would be fun. It would be lots of fun. But they bail. And eventually, Sam and Dan said, I won't debate you, but I'm happy to moderate and you debate somebody else. I'm like, sure, go ahead, whoever. And they said, Team Skeptic. I'm like, no, only people who be on screen so that they can't just rely on Wikipedia to try and sound clever. Okay, Madame Medusa, it will be good to see you debate Mr. Sensible. Has questioned you and your map. Oh, who is Mr. I don't know. Madame Medusa, I don't know who Mr. Sensible is. I haven't come across his channel. He has questioned you and your map. That would be, well, dude, Madame, go ahead, ask him. That would be cool. I would like to. So, and I would like to make it on maps. So if you want to, I'll see if I can find the channel. Let him know. I would be happy to debate him on maps. And other stuff, but we can center it around maps. That would be good. I can see PMars there freaking out. Subliminal! He says center it around maps. Yes. Right. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, so I'm now looking at the chat, as you can see. It's lots of fun. Jeez. Red's Rhetoric. Just Simon Dan. My gosh. I mean, you know why Sam and Dan wouldn't debate somebody like me? Because I would just say, hey, Sam and Dan, you're studying planetary science, aren't you? They'd say, yes. Like, great. Do you want to explain what the future is compared to what the past is? And that's it. Boom. Gone. Technical difficulties. Because he couldn't. You see, every single human being understands the difference between the past and the future. Every single human being can explain the difference between the past and the future. Some more eloquently than others, but everyone understands the difference between the past and the future. But he would know from me asking that question that if he defines the past and the future in a way that anybody can agree with, which is how we should define it, then my next question about the past in every directionness of the universe is going to sound like craziness. So that's why. And conspiracy cats, who have offered to debate many times, same thing. And I know, by the way, they're watching. Okay, so hey, Al and Dan, nice to see you here. You could write in the chat, so people just, you'll have seen from last time you were here, people aren't so offensive here in this chat. The people who watch this channel aren't the half-wit moron flat earthers. So anyway, I'm now looking back through the chat. If anybody has anything they'd like to comment, if not, I'm just going to pick at random. And apologies for the cold. I have a cold. So Madame Medusa, really, tell you what, paste a link, if you can paste a link to his channel or video. Danny D, so what TV show is this a quote from? I had a touch of chili powder to my meth. Breaking Bad, yo. Okay, so open link in the tab. I'm taking a look at your video, Emerald Rider. I'm going to take a look, see. But yeah, Madame Medusa, feel free to paste a link to whoever it is, that guy that you mentioned. I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, here. Oh God, yeah, no. Thanks, Emerald Rider. Not interested. Moon landing, faked. No, not faked. Yes, faked. Not faked. Not interested. Like Awaken Humanity. How you doing? Thank you. That's his channel. Cool. And next time you're free and you've got half an hour or whatever, just call me. Instead of arranging something, sorry, I'll call him now. And if I'm free, I'll answer. If I'm not free, I won't hear it, so I won't answer. But right, here's the channel, Mr. Sensible. Oh, I'm looking at videos. I'm gonna skim through, see if there's one addressing. Oof, a lot of okay. Well, I don't find one. If anybody actually has a link to him critiquing my map, because I'm not going to spend hours going through hearing some half-wit who doesn't understand simple things like the past and the future and motion. I'm not going to go through a guy's thing. So Both. Angel Fire 451. Yes, it's that Mr. Sensible from Facebook. Shill or low IQ. Still not sure. It can be both. I mean, it really can be both. Shill and low IQ. Okay, Madame Medusa, you've passed a link. Let me see if that's the one. But here's what will happen. I will offer to debate him, and it'll just go silent. 15-minute video. Let's have a look. Flat Earth, Orphan Red and Antonio Subirats. Love? Oh. Right, I'm going to skim through. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, what a weird guy. Yeah, I'm going to play that. Hey folks, we'll have a 15-minute video. I'm going to go and make a coffee so I can enjoy it with you. Thanks for that, Madame Medusa. And then I will write in the chat. Just a second. Thanks for that. Thank you. Plato or Aristotle, young man? Don't leave now, Antonio. I'm Plato or Aristotle. I'm not leaving. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Wait a minute. So yes, awaken humanity. Yeah. Obviously not. If you see I'm streaming, then don't call then. I'm gonna set up the window and then I will. Gary Waybanger, how are you doing, dude? It's been a long time. Just so people know, okay. I showed this in a video. Gary Waybanger was doing videos, and in one video, he just catches a little glimpse of some droplets on a tube. I think it's on a tube, might be on the roof of his car, in which you can see the filaments. And this was just the final thing I needed before writing the Book of the Sun. Because I knew that there was a way that you, if they're true, if they're real, not just ideas, then you should be able to find a way of seeing them. And yeah, that was Gary Waybanger. So, dude, thank you very much. Right, see Carlos Huerta. Oh, Carlos, ahora te doy una llave. And like I said, I'm going to go make a coffee, and I'll be back shortly. Let me set up the window. Oh, I know what I'll do. Oh, let me see. Oh, wrong one. Close that. I will do it so that I can use my cursor. Display capture, that's the one. Okay. Okay. And yeah, I will make this big. I will be back in nothing, 3 minutes, less, maybe. But meantime, I will just leave this here for the world to see. Okay, back shortly, folks. I'm going to make a coffee and blow my nose. I wish I had an intermission card, so I could just put intermission. But tell you what, whilst the kettle's boiling, let's get on with this. Ooh, a globe. Mr. Sensible, fight stupid with logic and cheese. That's hilarious. Number 59, Orphan Rats and Antonio Subi Red. Is it funny? What could go wrong? It's funny because he spelled wrong.
Hello everyone.
Oh dear. Okay.
Welcome back to the channel.
It's just my first time to the channel. So it's not a good way to start.
Wiz, please make yourself at home. Grab a drink and a comfy chair.
It's good advice. Isn't it good when somebody advises people to do things that they're already doing? It's like, hey, maybe breathe. Breathe and just carry on breathing until you can breathe without really paying attention to the fact that you're breathing. Yes, go ahead. Now I am going to just go and make the coffee. I'll be listening, but let's see. Up to now, I'm loving it.
Orphan Red has recently had a live stream.
Is that Orphan Red who's a member of Mensa? That's right, it is. Is this gentleman a member of Mensa? I sincerely doubt it. But anyway, no. I'm not going to play it while I make the coffee because I'm going to miss things and then have to rewind. I'm going to make the coffee and come back. Oh, it's good. Okay. All set.
We're going to sit and watch the entire thing. What do you mean it's 3 hours, 5 minutes long? Okay, I must admit that most of it
God, you must be getting script advice from Simon Dan.
of giggling and assorted rubbish. But there's a couple of very interesting bits. We're going to dive in where Professor Funbags gives us some important news.
Yeah, it should be. Okay, so here's the news. I have been invited to participate in a Flat Earth conference in Romania, and I said yes, and I'm going, and I'm so excited.
It's a shame that live chat replay isn't on, because I took this opportunity to make a suggestion to Miss Lumpy Jumper as to what she could do when she attends this Flat Earth conference. We join her again a few minutes later when she's just reading out a couple of the comments, and she responds to mine. Let's see if she gets what I'm actually saying.
P. Mars, this stream is so Canadian. Oh, is it sweet and polite? Is that... Mr. Sensible, hello there. Ask him for a Flat Earth map. We have a Flat Earth map. If you go over to Antonio's Patreon, you can download the Flat Earth map models that he's been working on. He's been doing a great job of those.
Free. You can download them free. That's right. Why are they on Patreon then? Isn't that a crafty way of making people go to Patreon and make them feel beholden and then maybe make a donation? No, it's just a very simple way of sharing it in a way that can't be infiltrated. That's what it is. It's really simple. You can just go there and download them, and people can't upload things onto your Patreon, you know. Because these file sharing things, people People can upload things to those file sharing things and get you in trouble. Anyway, let's continue.
Well, with a helpful recommendation like that, what could I do? So I nipped over to Super Rat's Patreon and I grabbed a copy of his map.
Oh, it's funny! Funny, he did a jumping sound. Oh, it's funny.
Just what the bleeding hell is that? Really? Honestly, Antonio, you're presenting this as a map of the...
It's so funny. With this map, you can take the distance between the boundary, the coastal boundary between Morocco and Algiers to a straight line to the very bottom tip of Cape Town, south of Cape Town, and take that as a measurement of 5,000 miles. With that measurement, you can then plot in Eurasia the China-Europe block train. That's right. I will, after watching this, I will plot that on Google Earth and we'll see how that goes, okay? Okay.
Well, having picked myself up off the floor, I decided it's only fair to let Mr. Super Rats explain his map himself.
Okay. Wait a second. This is another map. This is an old one, silly. You went and mixed up with an old one. That's a stupid thing to do. This would be like comparing Google Earth with, well, a map from before the discovery of the Americas or before the discovery of Australia. But let's continue anyway. We can't expect globlings to use, like, you know, common sense. But let's continue anyway. It should be fun. I've not seen this for a long time.
Distribution of the continents on the Earth according to their ratio sizes.
And it's wrong.
distance
I can tell you right now, that Eurasia is way too big. Way too big.
between. So, time, hours, sun travel. The center here, this is where the sun...
Boring. I'm going to move ahead to him. There, see? I mean, you think he might have noticed, just to say, that this is not this. I mean, how did he not notice? But let's continue. Oh, so it's a critique of an old map. Well, that was stupid. Wait a second. Huh. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to watch it all the way through. And, well, this is very encouraging to me. By the way, so Mr. Sensible, would you like to debate? I will ask you, why would you do that, what you did here? Given that you said you went and downloaded it from Patreon, and then you went and played a video that's like 3.5 years old? Anyway, continue.
This is the
Wait. Ahead.
time, hours, sun travel. The center here, this is where the sun, when it goes around the equator, which is this circle, the sun, when it goes around the equator, the center of that circle is here.
Okay, we got that, Antonio.
Good.
Now, this center never stays fixed. It's continuously moving, always has done, always will do. It moves from this central point here, down to this point, as the sun narrows to go around the Tropic of Cancer.
Hold on, Super Rats, me old mucker. Those circles, Tropic of Capricorn, Cancer and Equator, you have not got them as concentric.
That's right.
And yet we know for a fact that When the sun's over the Tropic of Capricorn, it is overhead at exactly 23.4 degrees south.
No, silly boob. You know it's overhead wherever it is that it's overhead in the real world. That would be South America, Africa, Australia. You know that it's overhead there, but you don't know the relationship between there and the north, do you, Dim Dim? Because those places were plotted before they even knew about magnetic declination. So they couldn't plot them correctly because they didn't know where north was compared to east and west, see? But let's continue.
When it's over the Tropic of Cancer, it's 23.4 degrees north of
Is
the
it?
equator,
Is it?
i.e. the same distance north or south of the equator.
Is it really? I think you didn't hear that famous line of Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, in fact, it's a little bit chubbier south of the equator. You see what that means? It means it can't be the same degrees, Dim Dim.
You've got it different. That doesn't equate with what we know. That doesn't equate with what we know. Like, really? It's interesting. Did you know you get double suns sometimes? No. Oh, okay. Let's continue. It's wrong already. Go on. Let's see how much more fail you can give us.
It then swings back towards the centre and then over this way to here.
Remember, I'm describing the centre of the circle. Under a completely wrong theory, by the way. Because this theory that I was discussing here was wrong. It's wrong. It's not true. But let's continue.
When it goes around the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun is not at a fixed distance from the surface of the earth. At any point, its circuit is continuously oscillating.
Wow, that was very subtle editing again.
We'll make it an oscillation with my hand. It is continuously doing this. I'm exaggerating.
Yes, sir, Mr. Rimmer, You smeghead. You
That wasn't very funny, but let's continue.
complete and utter gimboid. Red Dwarf references for those who like quality comedy. Antonio, here's the sun. Here's the earth tilted as it goes round.
Oh, wait. I hope you're not going to make it go around without showing the 66-degree angle between the two. Let's see. Oh, he has. He's done it wrong. But let's continue.
Stays the same. There's your oscillation, pointing away, pointing to.
Oh, it's so simple. If only it wasn't in a universe where all directions are the past. That's right, including the direction into which we're moving in that cosmology. That's the past too. We're moving into the past. Oh, I would love to debate
Must
this
do
guy.
better, son.
But it is
Must do better. I did. That's why I did the newer maps. See? Oh.
continuously doing this. So trying to get readings of the sun in terms of distance with the protractor, we're always going to have questions because the centre of this oscillation also moves.
I'm not surprised you're going to have problems if you're just trying to use a protractor to measure the distance of the sun. Look, forget all this bit, jump onto something else. This is just rubbish.
Oh, okay.
So,
He obviously doesn't know that the so-called distance of the heliocentric model's sun was based on observations using angles, which means using the protractor. No, of course he doesn't. He's the typical half-wit globling.
this oscillation you can detect, first of all, you can see that this is the line for the Tropic of Cancer because here's the Sahara.
Can you see? Now, it's interesting for me to look at this, looking back. Because what I was doing was for some reason, I hadn't figured out that these perfect circles that don't really happen in nature, I was thinking, oh, they must be pretty perfect circles. And the longitudes, straight lines. Oh, so wrong. All of this thinking thanks to the Gleasons. But let's continue.
Here's the Arizona, and here's the Gobi and the Asian deserts. This is the Tropic of Cancer. This is the equator, therefore the equatorial regions where jungles are on the equator, including the north of Australia, which was described by Cook as a tropical zone.
Fun fact, Antonio, Darwin, which is pretty much as far north in Australia as you can get, is 12 degrees south of the equator.
As the sun makes its way round, being propelled by a magnetic force which vortices out.
The sun is propelled by a magnet or magnetic force. So sometimes it pushes the sun away and sometimes it pulls it back again. Clever stuff.
This force that pushes the sun also pushes moisture. So as the sun arrives to this area, it drops moisture. Now we're going to concentrate on when the sun is in the area where it can create deserts. So it makes circles, and it gets to a point, it's making a circle there, it stops spreading outwards, and then it starts to spread back inwards, back to the equator. So when it slows down from speeding out, so when the spread outwards slows and the concentrism starts, at that point there's heavy heat.
How many kilograms of heat?
Which causes the deserts here, here, and here. Now, as the sun arrives, it brings...
Now, just say, if you take away the silliness with the ball, you take that as the zenith, pretty good. But let's continue.
Moisture.
The sun brings moisture.
No, it doesn't. The sun doesn't bring moisture. The sun is a separate thing that has no bearing whatsoever on the weather.
Every day? Antonio, you are pulling this stuff out of your butt. I've had enough of this. Move on to something else, something that please makes sense.
But there's also this.
Ugh.
You'll notice here, that line, that just happens to coincide with the eclipse of 2017.
That's right.
Now, I've not drawn this based on the eclipse. I drew this, and then Hillbilly came and explained about the eclipse, and we looked at it, and it's like, yo, this is mighty close to where I've drawn this line. Now...
Which is true, by the way. It just so happened. Like, that's interesting. Now that I understand that the filaments are angled, now I understand how the eclipse happened there, despite the zenith of the sun, or the point where the sun is 90 degrees overhead, being farther south. It's so interesting.
I'll show you what the eclipse is going to do.
Antonio, eclipses don't just follow the lines of Cancer or Capricorn.
Not on the globe, dim-dims, and not in the real world, but this gap... Oh, never mind.
This one is not. And you do realise you're showing the curved path of the eclipse on a globe.
This is
No
the
shit.
region where it's going to fall. Now, it should fall. This is where I have the Tropic of Cancer at this point.
Antonio, it's not up to you where the Tropic of Cancer or Capricorn is. The Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn is the limit of sun being exactly overhead. It's not just something you have a theory about. It's something you measure. Now, honestly, I'm really getting fed up with this. Please have something for us, or we're going to have to call this to a close.
Now, you'll notice here the positioning of South America. Now, I want you to think of a globe, or even the Gleasons, and how South America is located. The way it's located is you have this area is an hour to the east, and this area is 2 hours to the east. Now, in the real world, this area is an hour to the west, and this area is 2 hours to the west. If we say this is a meridian, if we say let's have this as a meridian, let's just determine that, okay? This is an hour to the west of that meridian, and this is 2 hours to the west from that meridian. In the real world. How do we know this? Because when it's 6 o'clock in New York, it's 4 p.m. When it's 6 p.m. in New York, it's 4 p.m. in Buenos Aires. When it's 5 p.m. in Michigan, it's 4 p.m. in Colombia.
What a load of total hogwash. Antonio, what the hell are you playing at? You have just moved the entire continent of South America from here, where it is, to over here somewhere.
Now remember the thing where, by the way, all that about time was completely wrong. Now remember the thing where he said about measuring, about the sun directly overhead, how you can't just make up where things are. Well, you could fly from Miami to Quito, and then from Quito to Fort Worth, and look at the magnetic declination for the regions you were flying over, and plot Quito where the plane landed. And you'd have it, well, around here. That's interesting, because that's Quito around here. Well, the rest of South America must move too. And it does. Oh, but that's based on real-world observation, not a mathematical construct. You see, I was using a mathematical construct and trying to put the things according to that. And no, it's wrong. As you see, this map is wrong. That's totally wrong. But so's this. And my current map, you can check by traveling around and seeing, well, which direction am I going and where am I arriving? That's right, with a compass, including magnetic declination. So let's continue.
If you were down in Chile, in Santiago, somewhere around here, and flew directly north, you're going to end up in the middle of the Pacific.
Oh, really? This guy, who hasn't bothered actually checking the details, he's just saying, oh, well, if you just went north, you'd end up in the water. Like, really? How about maybe you get somebody to do the flight and check?
Reality, let's just zoom in a bit. There's Santiago. If you fly north, you'll go pretty much up the coast to Chile and to Peru. In your map, you'll be going out here somewhere. It's not real.
No, why would you be going out here somewhere if you were going north? Dim dim.
Forget clocks. Clocks are just convention. That's why you get summertime or daylight saving time. You just move the clocks forward. That doesn't matter. What matters is the physical position of where you are.
That's right. And there are physical things in the real world, and I'm going to show it. Oh, I showed it already, the magnetism video. There are real things in the real world that help you determine which direction you're going. Not just pole stars, but compasses and markers like on the land. Dim dim.
Brazil, over here, is not somewhere around here.
I never said Brazil was somewhere around here. How could Brazil be somewhere around here if Quito is here? I mean, what kind of retarded person is he? Has he not actually noticed? I mean, okay, look at where he's pointing, here, which is directly south. Okay, here. Let's go to the map, my map. So, he's saying that Brazil is south, is here. He's saying that Brazil is here. On this map, that Brazil is here. It isn't, it's here. on this map, which is wrong. Dude, you're very bad at critique, but let's continue.
Time. You just move the clocks forward. That doesn't matter. Somewhere around here.
Wow.
I call total and utter BS.
I tell you what, Mr. Sensible, I will debate you on this video that you've made. This video, including all of that wrong map, I will debate you on that and ask you to justify why you say that I say Brazil is here. There you go.
That map of yours, Antonio, that's the biggest bunch of fail I have ever seen.
I would say, to a large extent, I agree. That's why I pulled it. That's right. Oh, poor people. You see, and I meant to explain this. In fact, I'll explain it later. Fear of failure. That's what these guys have.
Orphan Red, if you're impressed with young Antonio's map,
I detect, I'm going to play that again. There'll be people out there who know about interpersonal language and body who will detect a hint of envy in his tone.
Orphan Red, if you're impressed with young Antonio's map.
Dude, that's embarrassing. You're too old for her. And you're definitely not attractive enough. Come on. Dude, get those ideas out of your head. You're wasting your time. Oh.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs.
You should have more common sense, Orphan Red, and find that guy appealing and his thoughts. I haven't seen this before, by the way. That's just, oh, that's precious.
If I were you, take this top tip. I suggested that you go to that conference and ask them for a flat earth map. What I suggest you don't do is go to that conference and take a copy of Antonio's, because you will be laughed out of there.
You know, this is brilliant, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to play the video I made for the conference that Sasha presented. That's what I'm going to do straight after this. Oh, thank you. Oh. Now, most of you have seen that video, but I'm going to show it anyway.
Well, that was really enjoyable. It really was. Thanks again so much for viewing. I appreciate the comments, the likes, and the subscribes. If you haven't already, please hit mini-me down in the corner and subscribe. As always, a big, big thank you to my patrons.
Clasp your hands together. You're not clasping your hands together like Simon Dan. Silly. All right, so this man, Orphan Red and Antonio Subirats, love? Now, let me just point something out, silly. If you're going to say, so I said, ask them for a map, and she said, we do have a map. Go and get it from Patreon. And you say, so I went and got it from Patreon. Oh, silly, silly. So let's discuss a different map that I didn't get from Patreon. It's like, it's a bit disappointed. You could have discussed this one. You could have said, oh, I don't think those distances between Africa and South America are correct. But you didn't. You went and showed this one, which I pulled because it was wrong. And it's not right to leave something on that's wrong. Why would people do that? Be a bit like saying there was a big bang that started everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Oh, that's terrible. Now, I'm going to pull the thing up. Just a second. Change windows. My gosh. I would love to debate that guy. Thank you very much, Madame Medusa. First, oh dear. I'm going to go pull up the other video. And I'm going to tell you what it is that's wrong with the Globelings. And why they find so objectionable flat earthers questioning their worldview questioning their theories, the ideas behind their worldview. Meantime, let me just find the video and I'm going to play the map. The reason they find it so objectionable is that they see courage in us that they lack. They would be embarrassed. They would be mortified to draw a map, present it, and it be wrong. And having done that, they wouldn't be able to pull it, because that would be like acknowledging that it was wrong. See? Fear of failure, fear of errors. So they don't. Wait, I'm looking for... Here it is. Oh, it's only 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes long. Oh, so, and I'm going to play it all the way through. Wait, pause. There. Okay. Now he could have wait a second. Yeah, pretty good. Anyway, he could have showed this video, but he didn't. He chose to use one that was scrapped because it was wrong. Fear of failure. Fear, you know, fear of failure will have you, well, not winning the fair maiden, you know, and ending up being very bitter, like that guy. I can't believe it's funny. Well, wait. So when I sort my windows out. Oh, that was great. Oh, it was a bit cringeworthy watching. Where is it? Watching that wrong map. But I suppose that's the what happens with the internet. Again. And these guys, oh God, they have such fear of failure. They can't. Okay, so they know that they can't accept the real world. Oh, what? Okay, that they can't accept the real world because it's based on all kinds of stuff that they don't know. And they know they couldn't figure things out. They couldn't. There's nothing. Nobody has put everything together, and they can go and go, right, yes, that's what I believe too. So, because there's nothing that they can believe, not know, okay, in fact, they don't understand that it's not based on belief, it's based on knowledge. Instead of knowing that a flight from Miami to Quito to Fort Worth does a V in space. It does a V. It doesn't do a flight slightly to the east and then a flight over to the west. It does a flight to the west, southwest, and then northwest still. They don't know this, and they're afraid of failing, of dropping the globe, looking at the flat earth, getting things wrong, and failing. They're afraid. Right, I'm trying to sort Windows out. Display capture. Here it is. So now I'm going to play, thanks to the Dim, the video that I made for Romania. There you go. Enjoy this, Mr. Sensible. And let me just tell you once again. Sasha would be mortified to think that she was the object of your fantasies. So I suggest you don't make it so clear in the future. You don't want to offend the person you'd like to, well, conquer. That's silly. Oh.
Real science
Volume.
says it's flat. That's right, folks. Greetings from England. I could not make it. I really wanted to make it, but...
Oh, wait a second. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to... my voice is going. I'm going to do a different display type so that I can watch the chat. Here. While I sort this out. God. Wait, whoop, wait. This will be good to see. Yes, Madame Medusa. Please let him know. I will message him later. I will message him and say, get a debate. And what I'll do, in fact, what I'll do is today. I tell you what. Wait. Let me sort things out a little bit more, so I can. Let me see if this works. Oh. Yes, this will work. There it is. Right. Oops. Pause. Come on. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share in a different way so that you can all watch the video and I can see the chat without, right. Window capture. Off and red, and then Daniel's doing that. Love. Okay, here. So there you go. Now you can see that. I'm going to make it full screen so that you can see me asking him to join me on a debate. Okay? There, am I displaying that? Yes, I am. Okay. And then I will play the Romania video, which I'm sorry that most of you have already seen it, but he obviously hasn't. So here you are. Let's see. I hope comments are open. Yes, they are. Wonderful. Oh, you poor dim. Wait, full stop. Exclamation mark. Did you not realize that was a different map? Oops. To the one we have now. Oops. Not very observant of you, is it? That map, which you rightly say is poo, was in fact poo, poo, which is why I made a map based on observable rather than mathematical data. Now, I have people watching right now as I type this, and they can all see that I am asking you politely for a debate. Will you accept or be a quack chicken kiss? There you go. Ding! And now I'm going to show the Romania. Romania, here it is. Moon landing's faked. Filmmaker says no. Oh, that's okay. Well, filmmaker says not faked. Oh, right, okay. So they're not faked. A filmmaker said it. So they're not faked. Come on, play. Oh. Come on.
but not to say.
Pause. Larger screen. There. Play.
Conspiracy theory, but I was due to have my passport on the 10th of July. And it looks like now I have to wait until the end of this month. So 1,000 apologies. I was really looking forward to going. I was looking forward to meeting some of the other speakers and a whole bunch of Romanian people. So Cluj-Napoca, Poca, hello. This presentation is going to be mainly about this map, but also about the sun and a couple of other things. Okay, so here we go. Here we have beams streaming in through aluminium blinds. What you're seeing is the light diverge.
Oh.
Parallel rays can't diverge. These rays are diverging. This means you cannot use sun rays to triangulate the shape of the Earth or the layout of its continents. Because the sun is nothing like we've been taught. The fact that these rays are diverging tells us that the sun behaves differently to the ideas by which we've been taught to perceive the sun. We've been taught the sun is very distant, therefore its light falls basically parallel on the Earth. In this 5-meter wall, we're seeing, actually no. You could triangulate the distance to the sun. It would be about 12 meters away. It isn't really 12 meters away. It doesn't have any distance. Now, I'm going to play a video I made some time ago. Oh, look at that big glare of sun, like dissolving the blinds. It's not really dissolving the blinds, it's just glare. But I'm showing this to show the gap between the blinds. Okay? This is the gap between the blinds. Can you see how very, very little the gap is? Oh, there's the sun. Glare. About as big as it was when I was way over there, wasn't it? Well, how is it doing this? Remember I held my little finger up to it? That's curious, isn't it? Now watch what happens with my finger. Oh. Wave propagation, wave interfere. No. Now let's see what it does with my finger. Oh. No. Light isn't what you've been told it is. And because you've not been looking with a clear mind, you haven't figured it out. You haven't figured out what the sun is. I have. Now I say that in jest, but I have. What you're seeing here is what appears to be a second sun. It's not really, it's perihelion. This is a ring that causes perihelia. Interesting, huh? Now here you have what appears to be a double sun situation. It isn't. This is a reflection on glass. You can tell by the lens flare, that small orb. This too is reflection on glass. It's simply the one sun being recorded from inside glass, so inside a window. The light of the sun is reflecting between the layers of the glass of the window and then falling into the camera. Now what you're going to see is real double sun. You see the double flare? The man recording this knows that in order to show that he's outdoors, and in the audio of this video you can hear that he's outdoors, but never mind that, you could dub audio if you wanted to hoodwink the world. But you can't trick this double flare. moves the camera around to show, look, this really is in the sky. He's recording it because it's really there in the sky. This happens every single year, by the way, folks. It's not just bizarre anomalies. It happens every year at the same period of the year too. If this guy goes and makes a video at around the same time next year, he'll capture the same thing. Now here also, this looks like a painting. It isn't. But here you can also see the double lens flare, with the flare from the cloned sun, or the sun clone, being much more muted. Now we're going to see, again, there's the sun, there's its clone. The woman recording this turns to say, people might think it's the moon. No, here's the moon. It's obviously not Venus or Mercury, absolutely impossible. It would be nothing more than a sliver of a crescent. But there you go. You have the sun and this clone. Now if you pay close attention, you'll see two lens flares. That's because these really are two light phenomena in the sky. Now what we're going to watch is a sun and a clone rising. This happens every year. In Brazil, this is captured by CCTV of a hotel which records real time, 24 hours a day, and makes all of their video available to the public free. It's all there. You can spend hours and hours watching. Now, incidentally, this happens around the equinox period, both times of the year. Now this was September. You see our sun, and you see a clone to the right. As they rise in the sky, you'll see that the clone, well, it starts to leave a trail in the water. Our sun, obviously, is over to the left of the screen. And as the sun rises, the two suns rise in the same pace with each other, at the same time as each other. But notice how this clone disappears. Watch how it disappears. And after it disappears, its reflection or its effect in the water continues. This is part of what helped me understand the sun. The sun is a nexus of filaments. When these filaments go haywire, this happens. Now we're going to watch a rainbow from the ground, shot a drone. The drone is going to go up into the air. Now, imagine that you were looking at a sunset. And
Sorry, I just had to pause to address the earlier footage of the two suns. Let me just go back. Here. Because Globe believers can't accept this footage, they say that what we're looking at is footage taken from around the equinox period, and then footage taken around the solstice. The difference between the two being, well, a distance doesn't quite work out properly to what they think, but never mind that. There's a difference between the location of the sun when it rises and sets, between the equinox and the solstices. And what's happened is the CCTV camera has filmed both, and somehow someone has gone and edited the footage so that the sun is visible through the 2 points, one at the equinox and one at the solstice. Even though this is CCTV footage that is streamed live and then archived live. And there's more than one, by the way. It's not just this one time that it happens. Because the globe believers cannot handle that, they say it's tricked. They've taken two different footages where the sunrises are at different locations and then blended them, superimposed one on top of the other. So when you say to them, let me just mute the audio. When you say to them, very good, okay, so that's what you think, wonderful. Now, can you explain why the pink lingers in the ocean after the sun has disappeared in the sky over to the right? You get this thing that I call the triple blink of the globe link. The triple blink, this fast blinking of cognitive dissonance, literally information not being processed, like system error. So anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd mention that.
And the drone goes up into the air.
Let me rewind.
Haywire,
There.
this happened.
This is what I was referring to earlier with stacked rainbows. This that you're seeing here on the screen. This is not double rainbow. Like at the start of this hangout, I showed this. If you were to take the rainbow and say, okay, let's use the rainbow as an analogy for the sun, then you could say, okay, so if we said that there was a sun at the very zenith of that rainbow, now we're just saying that we're going to use the highest point of the rainbow's arc and just imagine, use that, using our imagination, you know, and pretend that we're going to refer to that highest point of the arc as the sun. Just that. We're only pretending. We're not saying it is, or that is where the sun is, or anything. We're just saying the highest point of the arc, the sun. You can see that there's other arcs underneath that. You can then say that any of those other arcs also has a highest point to it and say that that too would be the sun. When you see the double suns, that's what you're seeing. Anyway, let's continue now.
Now we're going to watch a rainbow from the ground, shot a drone, and the drone is going to go up into the air. Now imagine that you were looking at a sunset, and the drone goes up into the air. What would happen to that sun? It would appear to go up too. Just like this rainbow is going to appear to go up too. Now, you have to imagine, which obviously, if you're flat earthers, you can imagine. Imagine that you're still on the ground. You're on the ground and you're seeing a crescent rainbow. The drone is above your head and it is seeing a circle rainbow. The angle of elevation between you and the top of the arc is the same as the angle between the drone and the top of the arc to the same rainbow. However, your rainbow appears to be much lower in the sky. Just like the sun appears to be much lower in the sky to somebody on the ground, while somebody on the top of a skyscraper at the very same time seems to have it slightly higher. The reason for this is that the sun is an electrical phenomenon. When you go higher from the ground, you're going deeper into a denser field of voltage, electrical voltage in the atmosphere. Imagine that voltage to be water. It would be going into a higher pressure water. So, when you go up into the atmosphere, into the denser region of voltage, and the higher you go, the higher the voltage, the easier the information path to your electrical receivers, which we call eyes. Our retinas receive electrical impulses. These electrical impulses arrive at our eyes through filaments. The impulse inside the filament is the Birkeland current. The filaments themselves are made of the ether. These filaments I'm calling the Subirats filaments because nobody has thought of this before. They're not crepuscules, they're not photons, they're not waves. They are etheric filaments. the outer shell of the filament made by the voltage difference between the inside and the outside and the inside of the next bundle of filaments, like a tubular capacitor, with a voltage inside that's much higher than the voltage outside. These filaments increase in size to larger than a rainbow, but they also reduce in size to the smallest nanometer, into the microwave, into the ultraviolet, and into the infrared. These are the filaments. These are light. The whole spectrum of light is one circle. Now, maps. The red route is the China-Europe block train, 8,077 miles long. Try plotting this on a globe. You can use Google Earth if you want, or you could use one that you have at home. You won't be able to. This is the map of our Earth. These are the shape and location of the longitudes which have been regimented for the globe. Note the splaying in the Atlantic and the bunching in the Pacific. We will see evidence of this. But our Earth has continental shelves and continental drift. This is the map of our Earth with those continental shelves. Now the Sun. Back to the Sun. How do we know that the Sun doesn't behave how we've been told it behaves? Well, if you pay attention to this Sun, which is only making a one-day cycle in the Arctic Circle, you'll see that its speed across the sky is not constant. When it veers to the left of centre, it means it has slowed. When it moves to centre and past centre, it has speeded up. This tells me that this camera is looking towards the southern Atlantic at the point where it moves faster across the sky. Why do I say this? Because the Sun moves across the sky faster between Africa and South America. It takes less time to do the distance that the globe says would be covered by approximately 15 degrees per hour. It covers those 15 degrees much faster in the southern Atlantic. There happens to be a magnetic anomaly there. Now here we have another video of the Arctic Sun, and you'll see this quite drastic lagging to the left. That's when the camera is pointing off the coast of South America, between South America and New Zealand. That's when it drags to the left. When it stays stable is when it's going over the Indian and Asian continents, and then it speeds up again between Africa and South America. Notice also that the way it moves in the sky is not stable. Now this is not because of a problem with the EQ mount that's recording this. This is because the Sun doesn't behave as stably as people think. You have to look at the world and see whether the things you think are true about it really are true, or whether they only appear to be true because you believe a certain thing, you look at the world and you see what you believe you're seeing. You have to learn to think clearly, otherwise you cannot see clearly. If you are polluted with parasitic ideas, then you will see those parasitic ideas reflected in the world. And this brings me, sadly, to religion. If it offends you to learn that your religion is false, that all of your fundamental beliefs based on religion are false, if it offends you to hear that, and you think because it offends you, people shouldn't say it, then you should treat globelings with the same respect that you expect people to treat you with, and not challenge their beliefs either, because they are religious. Maybe, as time unfolds and more evidence comes to demonstrate that this plane is not a sphere, evidence will also come to demonstrate that this plane was neither created by a god, nor any of the religions any valid reflection on the thing they describe as God. Not valid at all. And when this evidence hits you in the face, will you refuse to accept it like the globelings are refusing to accept the truth of where we live? Is your religion more sacred to you than truth? Like we try to get globelings to look at the truth. We know it will liberate them, but they refuse to look. When the real world presents evidence that says your religion is false, your God is false, and your most cherished icon is false, will you refuse to look at it? Because it will happen. The globelings don't look because they're afraid. Will you be afraid to look at the truth? There is no reason to be afraid.
And while I was watching that, I just remembered something. Just give me a second. Oh, I think it's all capitals. I'm looking for the channel flat earth data. There we go. Okay. Only 77 subscribers. What a shame. Let me see. There's one on Antarctica on the mission. Just bear with me while I look around. The globe model has to use doublespeak. Absolutely it does. Let me see. No, it's not this one. It's one on the mission. Actually, this is where I will play this. The truth about Horizon on Flat Earth. There, here we go. Now, listen very carefully to this. This is from the Admiral Byrd documentary. Okay? The documentary won an Oscar. So, just listen carefully.
Landing craft worked frantically to loosen the ice.
In fact, I'm going to put the subtitles on because the audio is so quiet. Landing craft worked frantically to loosen the ice. So the propellers may turn without sharing off. One by one, the ships are cleared.
Bird remains behind with 197 volunteers.
Bird remains behind with 197 volunteers. And brave problems.
His most important exploration flights will now lack the powerful directional radio of the mountain.
Back.
Get underway. Bird volunteers in grave problems. It's most important.
He remains with 197 volunteers and grave problems. It says brave there, but it's grave problems. His most important
Exploration flights will now
lack the powerful directional radio. So they weren't using the compass, they weren't using the stars, they weren't using the sun. They were using a directional radio. Good Lord, could that be something akin to the, I don't know, the War of the Beams, the Knickerbein system, directional radio. Okay, directional radio of Mount Olympus. Okay. To get his men out, he must hope the icebreaker can crash her way back in time. Otherwise,
he and his men will be frozen in for the 9 sunless months of the dark, treacherous Antarctic winter.
did you see? Otherwise, I'm going back. This is a great find, by the way, dude. Hope that the icebreaker will be back in time. Otherwise, he and his men will be frozen in for the 9 sunless months of the dark, treacherous Antarctic winter.
Marooned, Admiral Byrd and his staff plan the big flight to the South Pole and far beyond. This is
Interesting, huh? 9 months. 9 months of darkness in Antarctica.
plan the big flight to the South Pole and far.
Huh. And the flight to the South Pole would have been using a beam station. Why? Why not just use, well, your compass, or I don't know, line of sight? Why not use, let's face it, if you watch the documentary, you see that they flew across the ice, landed, left fuel, went back, flew across the ice, landed, picked up fuel so they could fly further to drop off fuel, flew. They did this so they could leave themselves refueling stations. They could just follow those refueling stations. They did that whilst they had the beam system. Huh, interesting. Because they don't want to be stuck there for the 9 months of dark Antarctic winter, do they? Huh, you never hear that these days, do you? No, of course not. Okay. Well, in the Arctic, they don't have 9 months of sunless winter. Why would they have 9 months of sunless winter in the Antarctic? And that's a cracking find from, because I watched the documentary. That slipped me by, but I did. The whole thing is fascinating. Anyway, oh yeah, wait, no, did it slip me by? Well, when you're watching, some of you, I'm going to wrap up, by the way, I'm flagging. Some of you flat earthers will know when you're watching and you're taking in details, there's so much that you can work with, and some of it you go, oh, that's a good point, and then it slips on by. Anyway, there you go. Hey, what's happened with the stream? Okay, here it is. Here's the video capture. Move that to the top, and that's it. We will see if I get a comment from Mr. Simple, and I will debate him. Thank you very much, everyone. Danny Diesel, original future footage from Operation High Jump. Yes, thank you, Danny Diesel. I will watch it again. Not tonight though. I'm tired. But yeah, it's good. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time, and I will see you all again soon. Ciao. No, not ciao. Adeu. Adeu.